call it button, and let's give this button ID as well. Okay, so let's say ID button. Yeah, now button is selected. So let's add some event listener to this button. Yeah, add event listener. Maybe we want to listen on click. Yeah, that should do fine. And let's create a function. And what to do? Maybe let's change the background color. That would be fine, I guess. So body, not body. Let's firstly select the background. And okay, wait, yeah, body dot there should be style. Okay, and maybe give it some cyan color. Okay, yeah, now let's check it. Okay, so it's working fine. Yeah, and these were the main core features. And there is one last feature, but not the least, which is this data will persist here. Okay, I'll show you. So maybe let's copy this link. Okay, and let's close this tab. So I am reloading it. So the data is already here. So when you are if you accidentally close tab, or if you want to work on the project the next day, you can easily do this because the data is being stored in the local storage of the browser. So this all are the core features for this project. I hope you liked it, and you will start web development by visiting this link. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. And Sudeep, that project was very intriguing, and Anil has demonstrated it in such a great way and has given everyone a warm welcome. And today we are also very fortunate to have with us our alumni and founding member, Dipan Roy Da, and we can't wait to hear from him. So let's have the honor of learning from his experience. Dipanda?
Just a second, he is having some
Yeah.
network issue.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. So Ayush specifically asked me to join today's meet. You might not be knowing me, and same ways I might not be knowing you because I am 2021 pass out of KGEC. However, nice to see so many of you here. Hope you all are doing well. So DSC started a long way. Maybe Ayush has given you the introduction of how all this started before. So it was something else, and GDSC rather, came after a lot many trials and things. So that came with Ankit in the process, I guess. So one thing when we started, so I don't find my mates today here. So when we started Developers Club in 2018, I guess, right, Ayush? 2019 or 18 when it was 2019. So
Yes.
1890 was the time. The motive was to provide a development community experience to the entire college. So those who are new here, I would like you to encourage all of you to associate yourself to community development and try to build something for the college apart from what you are doing on your own personal projects. The reason why we say here so is basically you will start understanding that down the line all these things gets better when you try to build something for your college, and in the process you will find new members who are going to be a part of your team in that project, and that can lead you to have a good team, a good bonding, and a good synergy with the development. For example, a front-end developer would be very compatible with a back-end developer, or a machine learning developer needs a front-end developer to demonstrate his or her machine learning talents. So this is why DEC KGEC was then from Developers Club KGEC, and which is now Google DSC. So I would encourage in that way that you guys go ahead, do all these things, and make sure you share your activities on GitHub and all those things, so that your batchmates, your seniors, or your coming juniors do get like the enthusiasm seeing people are doing things, and with that they also keep doing. And just to give you a small thing, why DC, why DSC, or why GDSC at all, is basically all of you whoever here, you have to keep on passing this legacy to your coming batches, not just your own batch. And someone like Ayu should be passed out in some year, or anyone who is a senior who is over here would get done with his or her college, but the community growth should be continued. Just like Keygen Coders has been a legacy to college, the GDSC should also be a very important and crucial part for the college. Thank you, Ayush, for having me on today's call.
It's our pleasure to have you. Okay, Neha, you could continue.
Thank you so much, Deepanda. And we will try our best to actually have something created for the college. And I'm sure Ayushda will help us with it. And we can now move forward. Sudeep's project's link has been given to you in the chat box. You can all check that out. And now we will have Amit demonstrate his project that he has prepared with Sneha. So, Amit.
Yeah, I guess my screen is visible. My screen is visible.
Yeah, it is. Please go on.
Okay. So this is a project. This is a medium clone made by me and Sneha Mukherjee. So the purpose of this project is to provide user a medium of sharing the knowledge and gaining the knowledge. The medium is blog writing. So basically, what user can do is they can write a blog over here. They can share their own knowledge and they can read a blog over here to gain some others' knowledge, and they can also appreciate in this website. They can also appreciate the knowledge in this website. Now, this is all about my website, and let me give you a walkthrough what is this website about and how to operate this website basically. So this is a home page or this is a landing page of this website. As you can see, this is Medium, and these are some of the blogs that I wrote here prior. Now you can also click any one of the blog and you can see the blog, you can read the blog over here. You can also appreciate it by doing a like, and you can also do dislike over here. Okay, so this is how we read a blog. But if you want to write a blog, you can directly go to write. Okay, and you can do a start writing blog, and see, this is a form, this is a section where you can write your own blog. Now there are some fields like title, description. You have to provide some image link if you want to, and you have to provide the content of the blog. So let me give an example, and I wrote a blog prior to this meeting. So the title of this blog is this, and let me give you some description. I'll just copy and paste it over here, and so that there's no time waste. This is the image URL. What is DSC? I guess yeah. This is a image URL. You can see the image by just pasting the image link and by just copying the content over here. Is pasted the content. Then, so this is the whole blog, and after submitting it, you can see over here that your blog is been posted. See, this is your blog. This has been posted. You can also go over here. You can check your own blog, and you can read it, and people around you, people who are in this website, who are using this website, they can also check your blog, they can also appreciate it, and they can gain some knowledge. So this was all about the medium clone that I and Sneha Mukherjee have made. I hope you like it, and I will provide you the GitHub link so that you can get some insights of how did I make this.
All right. Thank you so much, Amit. Well, that was an amazing project. And now we will have Rupam Matabar and he will take us through his project. Rupam.
So thank you, Neha. So hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you a drawing application that is made by using HTML canvas, CSS and JavaScript. Here you can draw or write anything you want. Let's write something like DSC KGEC. Yeah. Or you can drawing something like sun. Please ignore my drawing. I am not a digital artist. You can change the color of your brush with this color palette. Let me just choose a color I think blue will be okay. Yeah, as you can see, the color has been changed. You can also change the color by giving this RGB code. So let's suppose the RGB code of red is 255 0 and 0. You can see the color now is changed. You can also increase the brush size with it. Let's suppose 10 or something like that. Yeah, you can see the line width is increased. And if you want to erase all this thing, and you can just click over the erase button and your whole canvas will be cleared. So it is basically a simple canvas project which I make using HTML canvas, CSS, and JavaScript. I will give you the link in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rupam. Well, that was a very creative project, and I'm sure we'd all want to use that canvas. Okay, so I hope a lot of you have loved this domain, are trying and are waiting to try your hands on it, but we have to move forward, and I'm sure you will love this more. So Adrishanti will first introduce us to this domain, to the domain application domain, and then we'll have Saptarshi who will be showcasing his app.
Thank you very much, Neha. Am I audible clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome and a really great evening to all of you. So let us introduce you to a great domain known as app. So most of you will be joining us in Android study jams and knowing about it. But again, since this is your orientation, so we are again here with app development. So what is app development? Now you will be thinking, what is actually app development? It's nothing but it is a process by which you can create mobile apps, okay, for different mobile devices. That can be your personal mobile devices or something like your digital assistants or enterprise assistants. So the art of creating these mobile devices for like mobile softwares for those devices is known as your app development. Okay, so your applications developers should consider different types of things while creating your app, any kind of app. That can be your screen size or your hardware specifications or maybe configurations also sometimes, because you know that in this like big competitive market, we need to create different types of apps which can beat the other apps which are already present. So we have to take care of that things. So now let us understand what is the purpose for it. So you would be asking me like, what is the purpose of learning app development? Well, it's just that you need to wait for the build to complete and show the next set of errors. That I'm sorry, that was just a joke. Well, the purpose of app development is you creating apps for different purpose, for maybe your community, maybe some bringing solutions to the world. So that is when you think about going into app development. Okay, let's move next. So this app development can be classified in broader three domains. Generally, when you're creating any app, you require different kinds of frameworks. Okay, so these frameworks can be again classified into your cross-platform, another one is your native, another one is your hybrid. So what is cross-platform? So cross-platform is such a framework where we use a single code base. Okay, but that code base, with the help of that code base, you can actually create apps for multiple devices, and it has really a native like feel. And if I give you an example, you have React Native and Flutter for cross-platform, and they have specific languages for that. Like for React Native, you have JavaScript, and for Flutter, you have your Dart. Now coming to native, it has its own code base, like individual code base, and it works on its particular platform. Like if you consider for Android, you have languages like Java, Kotlin, and for iOS, you have Swift. But again, if you create an application for Android, it won't support in your iOS devices. Okay. Similarly, if you create an app for iOS, it won't support in your Android devices. So you have to take care of the particular platform in which you are working. So again, it provides high performance, and it gives access to your device features. It's really a great point. Okay, moving to third, we have hybrid applications. These applications have few web elements which are embedded into your native apps, and it's specifically cost effective, and you can make different web progressive apps as well with these hybrid frameworks. Okay, one such example is your Ionic. You can use web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and frameworks like React and Angular in case of this Ionic. Okay, so these are three specific, like broader domains under your app development. Okay, these are few apps which you can see. These are made with Java and Kotlin. I am sure that you will be knowing few of them. Like we have Pinterest, we have Uber, we have other apps like Kickstarter, your simple calendar. And I think you know about this. It was named as Shadow Socks, but now it's like, you know about this. This is Telegram. So yeah, so these all are apps which are made with Java and Kotlin. So these are basically native apps. Okay, so these work only on your Android systems. Now coming to some Flutter apps, these are few apps which are made with Flutter. Your Google Ads are made with Flutter. So it's a cross-platform app. So it can run in both your iOS and your Android devices. Okay. You have other apps like New York Times, Dream 11. This is a very famous app you will be using, like the people who love cricket. Yeah. And you have React Native apps like your PowerPoint and Zomato, PhonePe, Flipkart. All these are made using React Native. So these are really like web progressive apps, and you can use them both on your iOS, Android, as well as on web browser as well. So moving on to next. Now you will be confused about which framework to choose, right? Like there are so many options. So what should I choose, right? So before choosing any framework, I would like to say that you have to keep in mind few things before like choosing them. So one such thing is your flexibility, your security, your simplicity, your speed, and all these stuffs. So before choosing any framework, just try to think about these factors, whatever I have mentioned, and think about what's the requirement for real. Okay, if your app is about to like do some task, then you have to think about what are the requirements of it, and do I really need this kind of framework to meet those requirements or not. So you have to take care of the simplicity, speed, flexibility, security, and so on and so forth. Okay, next. So what to know before you start into app development? First and most important task, not for app development, but for any kind of development, is learning to Google. Okay, so don't ask me what I need to Google or anything. Just go on Google, and whatever you have in mind, if you want to ask Google that how should I Google, ask that. Okay, so don't ask me, ask Google. Google has every bit of answer you have in your mind. So you have to learn this important skill. Then second is you must know about Git, because if somehow you have a fire at your house and you have to leave your laptop in your home and have to go in some other house, so your project can be at least saved, right, for the future work you will be doing. So you have to know about Git and using GitHub, because if you don't know about that, I don't know how you'll be like maintaining all your codes. So this is like a prerequisite. Okay, how to get started with app development? Now coming to specifically app development. Firstly, you need to download Android Studio. This is very basic, like any kind of app development. If you want to test your app, if you want to build your app, then you need to have a software development kit, which is provided along with your Android Studio. So it's a very, very important uh, integrated development environment. So it's a specific IDE, and it's made by Google actually. So it with actually it supports Google's operating system Android, and it's built on your JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA. And yeah, so it's basically is all in one place where you can create and test your apps. Okay, next is you have to check tutorials from YouTube. Again, this is for all other domains which you will be exploring in case of any kind of development. Just if you want to learn something, you can go for tutorials over YouTube, because those are really free. And yeah, so if you have any kind of thinking in your mind like how to implement this, just go for YouTube or go for Google, try to find out the solution, and yeah, then you have the solution in your hands and you can implement this. And step 3 is cry, because developers have only this option in their hand. Okay, after all this doing and stuff, you end up getting a big error which you can't find over internet, and then you get depressed. But no, this is not the end. You have to be motivated from the first until the very end. You need to be motivated, and you need to think positive that yes, I can solve each and every problem I will be encountering. And finally, there is something which Google developers have prepared for you. There's something like Google Code Labs, which you can actually have over internet, and you can access that for free. It's having a really good sets of documentations, guided tutorials, and different things, hands-on experiences as well. So these are written by Google developers, and yeah, and these ranges from your Java, Flutter, like anything and everything about Android or Flutter or React, everything is mentioned. Okay, so this is the link which you can surf on, and yeah, you will get that. Now there's again another question in your mind, like if I choose native, then again which one should I choose, Java or Kotlin, right? So I would say that both you can actually choose any one of these, because it doesn't matter that way. But it completely depends upon your app, which type of app you are trying to make. Okay, and there's again, I would say there's a plus point to use Kotlin, because Kotlin is announced as your official language for Android, and most of the apps, like almost all apps, are being shifted to Kotlin from Java. Okay, so try to explore which one suits you the most, and yeah, get into it. If you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box. I can take that for now. If you don't have, then we can move forward. There are a little more things left. I would be happy if anyone has any problem, then they can address.
I guess we should move forward, R3. We'll take up the questions together at the end.
Okay, fine. So, okay, moving next, we have something like Android Studio, right? So what is an Android Studio? It's basically a official integrated development environment for Google's Android operating system. Okay, so whatever work you are doing in Android Studio, like for Android, you can visualize it, you can reflect, you can see the reflection over Android Studio. This is a very important tool which we'll be using in your whole journey. So start with learning about Android Studio, how the different parts of it work. Okay, how we can create a file, how can delete a file, or these little steps you can have in your Android journey. And this time of the year is the best time to start off with your Android, because when you are turning on your Android Studio, your computer, you will see most of the times when trying to build your app, you will get your computer heated up so much, like you can actually get your feel of those fireworks or some like fire burns and all. So this is the best time to start off. Okay, now coming to Gradle, this is again an important term which you must hear about or know about, that is Gradle. So Gradle is basically a build system. Okay, it's open source, of course, and it is used to actually automate your different kind of building, testing, and deployment activities when you're creating any app. Okay, so there are some scripts as well, like build.gradle and different scripts, different modules present there. So with the help of those scripts, you can actually perform these tasks. Like you can actually automate your testing tasks. Okay, so again, this Gradle will help you to build your apps. This will help you to actually bind your apps together and create APKs. So another term is your APK. You can have those files and you can download those. Actually, when you are downloading something from Google Play Store or somewhere else, you actually download the APK file and install it in your phone, right? So Gradle does that. So you change all your application files into an APK compact file, right? So moving on to next, there is something called emulator. Again, this is a term which you again will be coming like in your coding, like in Android or app development journey. So emulator is basically, it can be a hardware also, it can be a software also. It will enable your computer system, that is your local system, to work, to make use of this emulator and work or behave like another OS. Okay, so if you are knowing about virtual environments or something like that, then those works are done by your emulator. If you want to run your app in your computer itself, so this emulator will play a important role. And finally, we have something known as manifest.xml. This is again a very, very crucial part of any kind of app. Don't actually mess up with this file. Okay, don't actually mess up, because it contains different important like datas about your app, like package name, activity names, and different version supports, different hardware permissions, feature supports, and other things. Okay, so don't mess up with it. So this was all about it, okay, about app development, and I hope that you enjoyed this whole thing, and I hope that you all come together and let's build something new. Okay, and my personal experience about being an Android developer, it's really hectic if you're doing it alone. So if you don't work as a team, it will be really, really difficult for you. But yeah, DSC will provide you that space to come and work with us. Will help you in different problems you are having. Yeah, so that was all about app development, and I would ask Saptashi to start showcasing his project. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Adrishanti. Hi guys, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Hello guys, this is Saptashi Mondol from KGEC IT second year. I am from the app dev team. So today I am going to showcase a crypto tracker app built using Flutter. So let's see it. So let's start. Is my screen visible?
No.
Just a minute. Hello guys, is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Let's start. So this is a crypto tracker app made using Flutter. So nowadays the hype of cryptocurrency is much. So you can the app is built with the sole purpose to mock trade cryptocurrencies, and also it also serves as a daily expense tracker. So you can just see the trending cryptocurrencies here. their prices, their rates, the graphs, how they are falling. You can trade using mock trade using this. All the data which are used from the used in the app are fetched from CoinMarket API and are absolutely real time. The app has many features. Let me show you. So this is the portfolio page. So here you can, apart from buying assets like cryptocurrencies, you can keep your daily expenses track and track them using a graph. The app is fully supported by light and dark themes. Let me show you. So this is the page. Just let me do a mock. Just see if you want to do a mock expense like 200 euros and expense. Just write a note like buying groceries. So you can set the date like any date you can set. So like it is added. So now if you go here, you can see it. So this is the market page where you can see all the cryptocurrencies listed here for you can buy it or sell it. These are Bitcoin, Ethereum. So this is also supported. You can tap on any app. You can see the graphs, how much they are falling or rising. You can set the time period and the graphs will automatically change. It is fully dynamic. The time period you change, the graph also changes. Just like this. You can change the app mode, light mode you can change anytime. So this is it. You can do many other things. You can let me buy a Ethereum for you. So you have to authenticate. So this app comes with fingerprint authentication. Before buying anything, you need to scan the fingerprint of the owner. So I'm giving my fingerprint and it is showing now success, and then let's go. So for buying, you click on buy, then mock trade. Then for buying Ethereum, you choose the quantity, calculate, proceed to payment. And for this is the final screen for creating the final transaction. Just add it. So this is it. Now let me show you. So you can see the graph changed. I made a purchase and see the expense has made the graph change. So you are seeing here, these the groceries and the. So let me take you to the assets page. So this is the assets page where you can see all the cryptocurrencies which you have bought and you can sell them. Like I have purchased Bitcoin, I have purchased Ethereum just now. So if I click on this, you can sell it. It is also available in a card animated form. Let me show you this. So this is it. You can vary these things like this. The app is fully supported by a custom backend via the SQLite and Hive database. So the data you save here is stored stored in your phone. So no need to worry that the next day you come, all your transactions and everything will be lost. So everything will be saved once you log in. And regarding the login part, the app is supported by email OTP authorization and also sign in via Google. So that's it. This is the settings part. If you like to reset the app, every data can be reset. So just click on clean data and it will show you a warning. If you want to clean, you can clean the data. If you want to change the name, you can change it. You can also delete the transactions in any way. Just do like this and it can delete it, and you can share it to anyone, any way you can share it, or you can archive it. So that's it. That's the app. I hope you liked it, like the project. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Adrishanti and Saptarshi. And as Adrishanti said, we have our Android study jams going on. And if you want to really, if you're very interested, you can join our Discord server. And as for Saptarshi, well, that project was amazing, and we are waiting to buy and sell from that app of yours. Okay, so now that we are done with apps and websites, let's start learning with machine learning. That did rhyme, but I guess didn't sound too good. But don't you worry, Shomyajit will make sure you understand what machine learning is. And we are also lucky to have Shantun Sadhuda to guide us. So, Shomyajit?
Yeah. Hello guys, good evening. I hope you are doing all well. So yeah, let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So first, what is machine learning? Here is a definition on your screens. So machine learning is a study of computer algorithms that improve automatically through experience, right? It is also a subset of artificial intelligence. Now, machine learning algorithms build a mathematical model based on sample data, also known as a training data, in order to make predictions or decisions without being explicitly programmed to do so. Now, it involves computers learning from data provided so that they carry out certain tasks. Now, for simple tasks assigned to computers, it is possible for programmers to tell the machine that how to execute all the steps required to solve the problem. And so on the computer's part, there is no learning needed, right? Now, for advanced tasks, it can be challenging for a human to manually create all the needed algorithms. In practice, it can turn out to be more effective and efficient to help the machine develop its own algorithm rather than having any human programmer specify every needed step. Now we can start thinking of a machine learning model as a child learning to speak. Now the child receives stimuli from his parents with the example of words that it must try to imitate, and little by little, after many attempts, the child begins to repeat these sounds. In this analogy, the parent stimulus is our data set, a kind of a set of examples that the child must try to interpret and later imitate on that. Now, the data set has a great influence on our model. For example, the words most repeated by the parents will be more easily learned by the child. And the language spoken by the parents will be the same as of the child. And even the pronunciation in the parent's voice will also influence the child's language. So this is why in ML, our data set must always be sufficiently representative of what we are trying to do. So next, we have three types of problems, right? So there are three types of problems we need to solve. The first is classification, the second is regression, and clustering. So classification problems ask the algorithm to predict a discrete value that can identify input data as a member of a particular class or group. So take an example of taking up the animal photos dataset. Now each photo can be labeled as a dog or a cat or any other animal, and then the algorithm has to classify the new images into any of these label categories, right? Now regression problems are responsible for continuous data, that is kind of predicting the price of a land in a city given the area and location. Okay, and here the input is sent to the machine for predicting the price according to the previous instances, and the machine determines a function that would automatically map the pairs. Now clustering is a task of dividing the population or the data points into a number of groups such that the data points in the same group are similar to the same group and dissimilar to data points in the other groups. So it is basically a collection of objects on the basis of similarity and dissimilarity between them. And the application includes marketing. It can be used to characterize and discover customer segments for marketing purposes, or it can be used for classification among different species of plants and animals in biology. Okay, so now we have three types of machine learning approaches: the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So what is supervised learning? So consider yourself as a student sitting in a math class wherein your teacher is teaching or supervising you on how to solve a problem or whether you are trying to do it correctly or not. Now, this is kind of similar to what a supervised learning algorithm follows. That is, with input provided as a labeled dataset, a model can learn from it. So, and a labeled dataset means that for each dataset given, an answer to the solution is also given as well. So this would help the model in learning and hence providing the result for the problem easily. So examples are emotion classifier, spell classifier, and so on. Now, unsupervised learning, as you saw in supervised learning, the data set is properly labeled, meaning a set of data is provided to train the algorithm. So the major difference between the supervised and unsupervised learning is that there is no complete and clean label data set in supervised learning. Okay. Now, coming to reinforcement learning. It is based on neither supervised learning or unsupervised learning. And to be straightforward, in reinforcement learning, algorithms need to react to the environment on their own. To be a little more specific, reinforcement learning is a type of learning based on interaction with the environment, and it is rapidly growing along with producing a huge variety of learning algorithms that can be used for various other applications like game, AI, industry automation, and so on. So here are a few companies that have done excellent progress and research on ML to improve their products and services. For example, we have Tesla for building self-driving cars. We have Apple, Google, Amazon. They have digital assistants like Siri, Alexa, and so on. Then we have Netflix for movie recommendation systems, and DeepMind for generally research purposes. Okay. So next we have the steps in machine learning. This is generally for supervised learning. We are not including unsupervised or reinforcement learning for now. So the first step will be always be collecting the data. Now, whatever data we collect, there will be some data missing, or there may be some outliers. So outliers are kind of a data point that differs significantly from other observations. So, and if we leave this data like this model can cause inaccuracies, and so we have to get rid of this missing data, or we can fill it out. If you can fill it up somehow, then we can do that as well. So, and then our data set is clean and ready to be moved on to the next step. So the next step, the data preparations and EDA. So in this step, we'll do some data analysis on whatever data we collected. And this is done mainly to visualize our data, including some interactive charts and graphs and so on. And we can also see some correlation and pattern among our data, okay, so that we can understand the data better. Now, in the next step, we have to choose a model. Now, there are different models such as linear regression, logistic regression, decision trees, and so on, support vector machines, and so on. And now we have to choose a model that we think will be the best for our data set. Now, this obviously, when you are starting, will not know what to choose. But as you practice, as you gain experience and learn about different models, you will generally get the idea about that. So after this, we need to train our model on the data set. Now, after training, we need to see how good or accurate the model is and how it is performing, right? So for that, we need to evaluate or test our model. Okay, so after testing, we have to tune our hyperparameters. So what is hyperparameter? So hyperparameter is a collection of parameters for a deep learning algorithm. Now, in real life situations, it is not possible to create a model that would work equally well in all situations, right? So these designers of these models came up with a set or a range of numbers which can be tuned until they produce the best results for that data set. Okay, the number chosen will obviously depend on what are the requirements of the task. So after we finish all these things, now we are ready with our model to make some predictions. Okay, so here are some memes. Actually, they tell you to do all these basic things before you move on to deep learning. So yeah, you need to have a good grasp over some mathematical linear algebra, probability, and statistics before you move on to deep learning. Deep learning is very exciting. I know there's a scope. There's also a great scope of research as well. But obviously, you need to master this before you move on to deep learning. Now, we have one of our tech leads, Sayantanda, who will be speaking to you about Kaggle. Over to you, Sayantanda.
Hello. Okay, thank you, Shomajit. So, first of all, a very good presentation on machine learning. So, in case you are intimidated or you guys are thinking like where to start with all these things or how to get started with learning machine learning, in that case, Kaggle comes to help you. Kaggle is, you can say, like the one-stop place for anything related to data science, machine learning, NLP, and computer vision. In case you don't know, NLP is the field of machine learning only, which basically deals with text data, and computer vision deals with audio as a video and image data. So I'd like to give you a little bit of journey of Kaggle to give you a hint like what lies there and why should you do it, what are its advantages and also what are its disadvantages. So just a second, let me share my screen. So yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, Priya.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So once you come to Kaggle and register, you will get a home web page somewhat like this. Now, this is where your entire data science journey will start. Be it you want to do exploratory data analysis, like initial analysis stuff, or like creating data sets, or you want some data set for some prediction, everything you will get from Kaggle. So, how to start the journey? First of all, master any programming language. Any means like Python or R, sometimes C++ also does the good job, but if you want to like do well, like go fast in machine learning and want to have some like get some code, like read some codes or understand other codes, basically get a good community support, start with Python. Okay, and if you don't know Python, you know C++, I don't think it will be very difficult for you to learn Python quickly. It will take hardly 1 week if you just like take the concepts of C++, basic concepts. And in Python also, you don't have to learn very like deep things. Just master topics like if-else statement, loops, for loops, and data structures like dictionary, maps, sets, then lists, and that will do. And some little like problem solving skills, like basic problem solving skills that people solve problems like prime numbers, then or different kinds of number theory problems that you solve in class 12. That will give you a good understanding of programming to get started with machine learning. Now, after you have learned Python, you can come to this courses section, right, on Kaggle, and here you get courses. That these are very good courses for data science and machine learning that you can learn very quickly, and and you get the hands-on feel of working with it. Like after you learn Python, the one thing that you need to learn is basically pandas. Then you need to learn NumPy. You will get all these courses here: NumPy, pandas. Then you have to learn Matplotlib and Seaborn for visualization. So learn all these basic libraries like NumPy, pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. And once you're done with these four, you will be in a position where you can just take a look into a data set, analyze it, and see if it is a proper data set, if it has some missing values or not. And where you will learn all these things, you can learn it from here. You can also learn it from YouTube. You can also learn it from any course, but I'll suggest this because this will help you learn it very quickly. Like you will need like 1.5 hours to learn pandas, 1.5 or 2 hours to learn NumPy. Similarly, Matplotlib and Seaborn. Once you're done with it, go and work on some data sets. There are really cool data sets, maybe the Titanic datasets, which I always suggest to young people or beginners. Go with the Titanic datasets. Other than that, there are other datasets as well, like the house prediction dataset or like various datasets are there. You can see any one of it. Just make sure you don't touch any data other than tabular data. Okay, don't touch image data, don't touch text data just yet. So start with any data other than a tabular data. You can start with my datasets as well. You can visit my profile, you will get two datasets that I have published here on economies of Indian states. You can use them as well. Basically, just analyze a few datasets. Once you're done with it, learn about scikit-learn, learn about the basic building blocks of ML, like what is linear regression, how it works, what is logistic regression, how it works. For learning the mathematics behind it, I would suggest you follow some video lectures of Andrew Ng. If you want to, that is good. Otherwise, there are also tons of YouTube tutorials or courses that you can follow. The point is, learn the basic mathematics of the linear regression, not very much in deep, but understand the overall concept. Once you are done with this, start participating in some beginner contests. Like there used to be some contests like uh, tabular playground datasets. These are like unrated contests on Kaggle. Like if I show you this, these are the unrated contests. Used to be, right? I don't know right now they held it or not, but these used to be for the beginners. These are not rated, and you can just participate in here. These will give you tabular data to practice, and also these will give you good like leaderboard score. Also you can see how you're performing among others. You can learn various different like skills, like basically hyperparameter tuning, then k-folds cross validation and all that stuff. And then once you're done with it, go explore the computer vision field, NLP field. And you after that, once you like spend 6 months or 1 year in this domain, you will be in a position where you will be able to participate, at least just participate, or crunch the data for these kind of competitions. And these are extremely interesting. Like if you just visit them, you will feel like I want to participate, but you won't be able to unless you do those beginner stuffs. And then you can participate here. Now the point of me telling you to come to Kaggle early on is because to participate in these kinds of competitions, you need to have a team, and it is very difficult to win this competition solo. And better if, and also it is, even if it is possible to win solo, you don't have the motivation to like grind at it for a long time. So if you have a team of like 4 or 5 people from our college who just build a good team, have all those like know each other's strength and weaknesses, and start participating in the Kaggle competitions, they are extremely rewarding, first of all, and also they give a great sense of satisfaction. But apart from that, it is extremely difficult to win these competitions. First of all, like they are paid competitions. Like if you win these competitions, you are going to get paid very good. Like $1,60,000, which is a lot, but this is for like the first prize goes to like $80,000 or something like that. But yeah, that's not the motivation. It's very difficult to win these competitions. But even if you don't win, even if you are able to secure a medal, like a gold medal or a silver medal or a bronze medal, that will also lead you to very good companies. In fact, companies directly, I have like contacts of people who have won Kaggle competitions, like bronze or in Kaggle or silver in Kaggle, whom Nvidia or companies like Hugging Face have directly contacted them for internships and all that. So form a team, build a team along with like some few like-minded peoples from first years and second years and all of you, and then start participating in these competitions. Maybe not just participate just right now, maybe just get a hang of all these things, like what is Kaggle, and then which data sets to check, or like how to code in Kaggle, how to win a competition, or maybe how to just participate in a competition, how to prepare your data and all that thing, and gradually start participating like you do for any like competitive coding you do. You can just start building a entire like that thing around Kaggle and machine learning as well. Now, what are the advantages of doing this? Let's say you don't participate in any competition. Forget about competitions. You don't participate in anything. You just do Kaggle for 2, 3, like 1 or 2 years, like I did. And you can, after that also you can still participate in competitions. But even if you don't participate, let's say you just become notebooks expert or discussion experts or dataset experts, that will also give you a great boost to your entire CV or entire portfolio, right? Apart from that, you will learn a lot. Like you will learn the entire, this is like the best way you can learn the machine learning like you can go into the machine learning journey, you can learn various aspects of machine learning, various intricacies of machine learning. And the third is it will be very easy to like uh, code a machine learning algorithm for you, like like get a good accuracy in production as well. It will be very easy if you have like participated in Kaggle competitions before. So this is why I would suggest you to come to Kaggle. Now, with that being said, this has some drawbacks as well. If you are investing your time in Kaggle, the first problem is that Kaggle is very much accuracy oriented, but that level of accuracy is not needed generally in production. So it is a bit like if you have just done Kaggle and you don't know about other things like basic web frameworks like Flask or Streamlit or some frameworks like this, it will become difficult for you to like do well in companies or in internships. So that you have to keep in mind. Along with Kaggle, learn some basic frameworks like Flask or Streamlit or even FastAI if you want to. So this is, and another thing is, this like it is very difficult to like keep doing it. Like it is very difficult to win competitions, and it is it needs a lot of motivation to continue basically. So this is the drawbacks, but in spite of that, it's a great learning place. Even if you're not like getting any accomplishments or anything, I'm sure if you're spending some time on this website, you will learn a lot for sure. So that's my suggestion. Hope you guys will take it or you guys will consider taking it. And thank you. Over to you, Neha.
Thank you so much, Ramyajit, and thank you so much, Shantanda. That was an amazing session. Now we will have Shorbajit demonstrating his project. I'm sure. Shorbajit, where is he?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So I'm Sarbajit Goswami. Hi everyone. I have made basically a medium response chatbot. So I will present after I saying the definition of chatbot. What is the importance? Basically, chatbot applications streamline interactions between people and services, enhancing the customer experience, which is the need of many digital marketing, like Amazon, Flipkart, also Google, Facebook. At the same time, they offer companies new opportunities to improve the customer's engagement process and operational efficiency by reducing the typical cost of customer service. So now I am presenting you the basic chatbot. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So this chatbot is basically made with Nltk and WordNet. So at first I defined the Nltk. The Nltk full form Nltk is a Natural Language Toolkit. It's a platform used for building Python programs that work with human language data for applying in statistical natural language processing. That is NLP. And the WordNet is the lexical database like dictionary for the English language and specifically designed for natural language processing. Okay. So, and I have used here a text dataset to train the model and getting the response. Okay. Now I am showing some responses. You can see the responses. The chatbot is processing my data and he is answering at his own. Now, if I say, now the season is winter, so I'm writing this. Yes, what's he saying? I like winter too, but sometimes it gets too cold. Now another response I am showing you. I'm not a school student, though I am writing. Okay, something random name. Next, I will say it's really a big campus here. So this is the basic responses I can get here, and as this is a basic chatbot, we can make a high efficiency chatbot and we can incorporate in digital marketing sites like that. So to get the customers, which customers means like want to buy or prefer, to get his data, and we can process it and we can show it that type of products, specifically that type of products, to help our to help company to sell that products much. So this is, that's it, nothing more. Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm sure that will be really useful for introverts. Now we have Snehashish Dibar, and since his network connection, we have a question. We'll take up the question later, Shubhankar, don't worry. Since Snehashish's connection was not that great, so I'll be sharing his present project, and I'm sure you'll all like it.
So, hello folks. Today I'm here.
Is my screen visible,
Describe
and
one of
is
the
it
most
audible?
interesting projects on OpenCV.
Yeah, yeah.
Canvas.
Neha, can't hear the audio. Do you mind if you share
This is
only the
Okay,
single
okay.
tab?
All right, all right.
uh, so hello folks. Today I'm here to describe one of the most interesting projects on OpenCV, that is Air Canvas. So here, as you can see, this is the code, quite a long time. I mean, long bit. And so without wasting, let's jump to the working of it. So as you can see here, we have a mask, color detector thing, and the tracking pad. Okay, so this is the tracking pad. As you can see, clear, blue, green, red, and yellow. So using the color detectors, I have made a mask. So as you can see, this is the marker pen. Okay, this marker pen. I've used the color of this little green here so as to mark the thing. So here comes the mask. As you can see, it's a mask. And so when the tip means the here the yellow outer circle is nothing but it's a contour. So using the contour, it frames the center of the circle. See, as you can see, that it follows the center. So when I move it from here to here, it forms all the coordinates in it, and it describes into a particular color. So for example, if I take it to clear all, then it will clear the thing. If I take it to suppose blue, just a minute, yeah, clear all blue, then you can see it is just a blue. If I say green, then it will be a green, red, and it will be a red. Say suppose yellow, then yellow. So the main functionality is that it allows you to choose the color on basis of it, and you can do whatever on it without touching any hand. See, I have not used any of my hands, and I do just the tip of it to make it as point of a cursor, and I'm using it to draw it. So this is all about it. And see, as you can see, it works pretty nice. So if you have any ideas regarding this, you can just go through it and tell me if you have any queries or not. Thank you.
Well, that was an amazing project. I'm sure all of you liked it. Next, we have Mangalam Sharma who would demonstrate his project. Mangalam.
Yeah, can anyone confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you can see I am using Jupyter Notebook over here, and over here it is a basic project on Iris dataset. What is Iris dataset? It is a set of data. Over here you can see where the sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and the species are given. So we using this head command, we have just seen the first five of the dataset, first five, and when we move forward, we can see many visual representations. Over here it is sepal width versus sepal length representation, and if you move forward, there are various kind of representations done over here. So what is the purpose of this project? It is used to it is used to discover and to help us learn many what are the various visual, what are the various uh, what are the I'm just changing the language, what are the various packages present and the visual aids present for us to see in any data set. Okay, if we move forward, we can also see there is this visual aid, and where you can see the species and the sepal length. So how it helps us? It helps us to check our data and to figure out what are the things present and how they are present. Okay. So it was till then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mangalam. Next, we have Sabtashi Bhattacharya. Sabtashi.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, is it visible? Okay. So this is my project. Basically, it's an web app to predict from images what emotion it's showing on your face, right? So sometimes we might be confused about the emotion on images. So we can use this app. So let's upload a picture. So this picture is pretty, I mean, she looks pretty afraid or fearful, right? So when we predict it, it shows fearful. the emotion. When let me try with another image. So this person here is sad. So when we predict, it shows sad. This is I am using a convolution neural network, which is a type of machine learning model. I mean, and I'm sure you will learn about it later to predict the emotion on the faces. So it may also make some mistakes. Like, let me show you an example. This photo here, the person is actually happy, but it has some afraid or fearful characteristics. So it makes the mistake of predicting fearful. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically the project. Thank you.
All right, Saptarshi, that was an amazing project, and I'm sure most of us want to know the mood of the person before we can talk to them or before we ask them something, and this will be really helpful. Now we will have Shomirjit, and I'm sure his project won't let us down.
Hello again. Yeah, so you have seen what ML is, and you have seen some very cool projects with it. Now let us define what machine learning, deep learning is. Really, deep learning is just learning from examples. That pretty much is the deal. So at a very basic level, deep learning is a kind of a machine learning technique that teaches a computer to filter inputs like observations in form of images, text, or sound, and pass them through layers in order to learn from them and classify and predict that information. So deep learning is also inspired by the way that human brain filters information. The previous project that you saw by Saptarshi is also an application of deep learning. Now let's see a useful and a real world application of deep learning. So colon cancer is a disease in which cells in the colon or rectum grow out of control. This disease mainly occurs in individuals of age around 50 to 40 years and have claimed numerous lives. Now, this project can help doctors, nurses, medical professionals to diagnose them correctly and early so that it can be prevented from reaching stage 4 or 5. Now, to diagnose a problem, the tumor inside, doctors have to look inside the body, right, before operating, and they also have to know about the exact location of the tumor. So this model helps identifying these colon polyps and demarcate them so that they don't have to do that manually. So how cool is it? Let's just see it. Few examples. Okay, so here is an image. I uploaded this image, which is in my drive. I'm not showing you where I uploaded the image, but this is an image in PNG format, and there's a lot of code which you don't need to see right now. Let's just see how it works. Okay, I ran this code and here is the result. So you see, so these are the colon polyps that this model detected and just segmented this part out. And doctors can just see this and just demarcate this very easily. They don't have to do that manually anymore. Let's see some few more examples. Okay, and again, you see that this is also a large colon tumor and it segmented it very beautifully. Of course, so this part is not accurate, of course. This model is not completely accurate, but it's kind of one of the best models. Let's just see another one. Okay, here it is. So yeah, this is a tumor and it detects it. Okay, so this was it. I have nothing more to say. Thank you, guys.
Well, that was amazing, and I'm sure you have all loved these projects on ML. But the next domain is also very interesting, and I'm sure you'll all love it. So we'll have Anindo Bhaiya who will introduce us to IoT.
Okay, so thank you, Neha. So on this side, good evening, everyone. So Neha, can you share the slides? Okay, thank you. So let's start. So what is IoT? IoT or Internet of Things describes physical objects that are embedded with sensors, processing ability, software, or other technologies that connect and exchange data with other devices or systems over the internet or other communication networks. Okay. It involves developing embedded systems with various network capabilities such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or cellular. Right. So that we can interact with the devices remotely. Embedded systems involve microcontrollers, which are small computers on a single IC, consisting of a small processor, RAM, ROMs, timer, and special registers mainly, but can also contain special devices embedded into the chip as well, such as RF amplifiers for wireless connectivity, right? Communications. Let's leave these boring definitions aside. Like, come on, some of you might have seen examples of IoT here and there. Say those smart lamps whose brightness or colors can be controlled remotely using an app or say an website. Or those smart home integrations which support voice commands like Google Home, Alexa, Siri. I bet you have heard about smart homes, right? So let's explain how you can start building your own IoT system. To get started, you can see the picture. There are three. Okay, Neha, previous page. You can see the picture. There are three boards shown here. The top one is Node MCU. Top one is a Node MCU, ESP8266. It has Wi-Fi connectivity. You can see the PCB antenna on the board. And the bottom one is Arduino Uno. It is a very basic 8-bit microcontroller based on AVR RISC. Okay. And the board on the right side is actually a computer, actually a single board computer known as Raspberry Pi. Okay. So these tools can be used for IoT. Okay. So coming to how you will make the firmwares or the programs for those microcontrollers or the computers. Right. So next page, Neha. So when it comes to writing programs for those tiny microcontrollers, C or C++ is the best choice to do because they provide robust code which has best performance among all the other languages. Okay.
Salih, please,
So,
please mute here.
yes. So can I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Although C++ is the only way for building high performance lightweight firmware for professional use, if your target is, however, to try out and explore the technology and build basic IoT systems very easily and quickly, then you should consider about MicroPython or CircuitPython. You can use powerful Python tools like REPL, that is read, eval, print, loop, modules, libraries of Pythons, in real time. No need to compile like C++. You will see when you work on Arduino. Okay, so you will see that C or C++ takes a lot of time to compile. And then when you upload the code after a long time, you will figure out there is a runtime error. In such cases, MicroPythons are very useful. MicroPython firmwares are very useful. So there are two types of MicroPython facility. One is MicroPython. You can check out micropython.org and there is CircuitPython. Okay, so you can also use those. So let's jump to the demonstration. There is a quick demonstration. Okay. So we have built basically a basic dashboard. You can see there is a toggle switch and a brightness slider. And I am gonna turn on my camera. Can you see the feed? Can you see the camera feed? Yes, someone please Let me
Yes,
know.
yeah, it's visible.
Okay, okay. So Neha, can you remotely control this lamp over here?
Yes,
Yes, I am
sure. We
pointing
have
this.
dark and light themes in this dashboard,
Yes,
and we
yes.
can
And
toggle.
another thing, this dashboard was designed by with the help of IoT and web team in our own DSC. Okay. So, okay, Neha, proceed.
So we can control the brightness out here. We can lessen the brightness, and we can also increase it.
Here, due to the camera exposure adjustment, the brightness control is not much noticeable. But now, can you toggle the switch so that they can see that it is being
Yeah,
controlled?
sure.
Yes. So you can see we are using sockets here. More on that in the repository. I will link those repositories here. Okay. So it is using socket IO through which we are controlling this node MCU here. Okay.
Yeah,
And
and you can also try it. We have already shared the link. You can see the code base as well, and
okay, so now I will ask ask for a volunteer among one of you who will try out this website. Okay. So anyone?
if
Uh,
someone wants to just write it down on the chat, and we'll get one of you to. Yeah, and please make sure your internet connection is good.
yes, yes, with decent internet connection.
Yeah, I've already shared the link, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Amit को दिए ना. Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
guess
Someone
someone
is
is.
already, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Someone is
Someone is
already up
able
there.
to control. Can you unmute someone?
The person who's toggling the switches, just unmute and let us know.
Okay, anyways, so
Yeah.
you can see that it is possible to remotely control a light from anywhere in the world. This is just a basic demonstration, nothing fancy. Okay, so that the beginners or the beginners among you can easily try out IoT. Okay, so okay. Hello, stop.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this
Don't
is,
do that. Don't do that. It is
yeah.
annoying, very annoying. चोखे लग जाए विशाल. Okay. So, anyways, that's it. That's all. I'm sharing some more links here. The dashboard link is already shared, and now I am gonna share the repository links. Okay. Yes, you have tried this, Suvankar. Okay, very good. I'm also sharing my GitHub profile if you are interested. Okay, and the LinkedIn profile as well if you need to connect. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was a very interesting demonstration, and we could see people toggling the switches here and there. So now we'll have Soham with his project. Soham.
Hmm. Hello everyone, this is Soham Dasbiswas and today I will demonstrate my Fire IoT card. So let us first take a look at how it works. Can you see the video? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting. Uh, This card has been made with the help of Firebase, a platform developed by Google for creating mobile and web-based applications. Firebase RTDB or real-time database is a service in Firebase that can be used to make real-time communication from client to server just by including Firebase client libraries in the client application. Here RTDB is used in the app as well as NodeMCU in the IoT car. Uh, okay, you can see I am toggling the switches in the video, so it will work just like forward, backward, etc. Now I am showing the Firebase uh, database, real-time database. Wait a second. So you can see my application and the so you can see my application on the screen, and the video shown how the card is moving in the real time. We can click the forward button, it will go to forward, and you can see the database there. There have a changes like move is 12. When I stop it, it will be 0, and when I right, left, etc., it will uh, moving around. Okay, and there is a slider where you can increase or decrease the speed of the card. You can see the card speed is increasing gradually. Okay, this app has two theme modes, just like dark theme and light theme also. Okay, so as you see the Anindada's project, it can be accessed from worldwide. So it is also can be accessed by to worldwide by through internet. Uh, so this was my project, and I hope all you liked it.
Oh, thank you, Soham. That was an amazing project. Now we will move to the very hyped domain in the world right now. I guess all of you must have already guessed it. It's cryptography. And we'll have Shomujit, Saptashi, and Anurag here, and they'll take us through the introduction and will also showcase their joint project.
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am Anurag Chakravarti, welcoming you on behalf of the cryptography and cybersecurity team. Hope you are enjoying today's session and learning something new on the go. Now, we will throw some light on cryptography and cybersecurity. Let me present the slides. All right. So before starting the session, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ayushta, our lead of GDSC KGEC, for being our mentor. And I would like to thank Shomojit and Saptashi, my fellow teammates, for contributing in this project. All right. So we'll start with cryptography. So what is cryptography? Right. So it is nothing but a practice or a way to secure communication between two devices or two people or anything between server and client. So let me give an example. Suppose you and your friend are talking in Hindi in a country where they don't know the language, like suppose say China. So whenever you guys talk in public, the people in China will think that you are speaking kind of gibberish. Okay, so they couldn't decipher what you are talking about. So that is one kind of real life encryption. Now coming to computers, whenever two computers interact or talk with each other, they use certain ways or certain techniques to ensure that whenever a third party is listening to the conversation, they couldn't decipher what is the computer is sending data or whatever they are talking. And it is very important in today's world, especially when you're sending very sensitive data to the server or client or to your friends. You don't want the data to get leaked in the world, right? So that is where the use of cryptography comes in. Now we will see how many cryptography functions are there. Well, to be honest, there are a lot in the world, but today we will restrict ourselves on the main ones. These are hash, encryption, and cipher. And in encryption, we have two, that is symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Now, what is symmetric key? So let me give an example, like the previous one, right? Whenever you and your friends are talking, only you know how to decode and encode Hindi. That is the symmetric key. And what is asymmetric key is that you will have two keys. Suppose you are in a college hostel, and in a hostel there are 5 rooms. So there is one main gate of the hostel which will have a lock and it will have a public key. It is given to all your 5 friends. And next you have your private room key. Only you can access that room, right? So whenever you enter your hostel, you will use your public key to open the main gate, and then you will use your private key to open your private room. That is how exactly the public key and private key functions work in asymmetric key. Now we will see a hash function. It is one of the most simplest thing. So basically hash function, consider it something like a magic or a box. Whenever you give an input, no matter how large it is, it can be 2 words, 500 words, or it can be thousands of GBs of file. It will spit out a particular set of a particular length of characters in gibberish, like ABCD, hash 123, 123, some kind of like. So we can secure the data. Suppose I say hello to you, and you don't want that hello to get leaked in the world. You can hash that hello world, that hello sentence, and it will spit out a gibberish, which is not comprehensible by any public other than computers. So that is all about the cryptography. Now we'll shift to cybersecurity, and Shomojit Datta, please take over.
Yes. Next slide, please. Okay, so I guess all of you know what cybersecurity is, but then also I'll just define it. So cybersecurity is the art of protecting networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access or criminal use, and also the practice of ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of information. The next slide, please. Okay, so there are many terms here. So application security includes all the tasks that introduce a secure software development lifecycle to development teams. Network security is a broad term that covers a multitude of technologies, devices, and processes. There's also something called cloud security, which is the protection of data stored online via cloud computing system from theft, leakage, and deletion. And also, last but not the least, mobile security, which is the protection of smartphones, tablets, laptops, and other portable computing devices, and the network they connect to from threats and vulnerabilities associated with wireless computing. So you must be aware of various cyber attacks that take place. I'll be naming a few of them only. So the first one is DDoS, or a distributed denial of service attack. So this is actually a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of your company's server. It can also affect service or network by overwhelming the target or its surrounding infrastructure with a flood of internet traffic. So basically, you send multiple requests from multiple devices to a web server until the point that it overloads and it can't handle more requests. Next, we have is phishing. So phishing is a cybercrime in which a target or a group of targets are contacted by email, telephone, or a text message by someone who is posing as an institution, a member of an institution, to lure individuals into providing sensitive information such as credit card PIN details, banking details, etc., and so on, and passwords also. And the next we have is called man in the middle attacks. So these are also a common type of cybersecurity attack that allows attackers to listen quietly on a communication line, okay, between two targets. This actually takes place between two hosts, allowing the attacker to listen to the conversation that you and your friend are having. So let's take an example. Say that Neil and Nitin are having a conversation. Now Mukesh wants to hear the conversation, but also wants to remain transparent. So now Mukesh can tell Neil that he was Nitin, and tell Nitin that he was Neil. So this would lead Neil to believe that he is speaking to Nitin, while actually he is revealing his conversation to Mukesh. Now Mukesh can gather information from this, and after the response, he can change the response and pass the message to Nitin, who thinks that he is talking to Neil. So as a result, Mukesh is able to kind of transparently hijack the conversation. So this was all about cybersecurity and cybersecurity attacks. Now we move on to blockchain. Saptashi.
Yeah, thank you. So let's move on to blockchains. Let us understand what blockchain is first. Please, the next slide, please. Okay, so what is a blockchain? A blockchain is a so a blockchain is a chain of blocks, as you can see right here. Like these are blocks with data inside them. So how is it different from this block, for example? How is it different? So they are cryptographically linked using a hash function. Then the question comes, what is a hash? As Anurag already explained to you, right? You put some data in the hash, and the hash gives you a standard output or an alphanumeric string based on what the hash is. It's always standard for it. Whatever data we put inside, only one kind of output comes. So how the chronology is maintained, the whole data of the block is hashed, and that hash is put into the data of the next block. So when the hash of the second block is taken, the data also contains the block of the previous block. So when you tamper or change the data in one block, all the subsequent blocks will get tampered with, right? Because the data in every one of them will get changed by changing only one block. So this is how the this is how blockchain is made immutable. So if you want to find out what's inside a block, let us show our project, right? So Anurag.
Yes, all right. I'll be closing this tab. Yeah. Now I present the project demo. Shomoit.
Yeah. So first, let's understand what ACH256 is. So yeah, Anurag has already told what hashing is. So basically, it just takes a piece of information or text or something and passes it through a function and then performs mathematical operations on that function. So this function is called a hash function, and the output that it gives is called an hash value. Okay. So ACH256 is also part of an ACH2 family of algorithms, where ACH stands for Secure Hash Algorithm. It was developed jointly by NSA and NIST. Now, the significance of 256 here in the name stands for final hash digest value, which means that irrespective of the size of the plain text, the hash value will always be 256 bits, as you can see from the example, right? Now, Anurag, just remove the dot from the end. Yeah, so that you see that entire hash change, right, with a small change in our text. So this effect is called an avalanche effect, and this is why it is practically impossible to decode the hash. Next, we move on to block.
Yeah, so in the block there is a data portion and a hash portion. In the data portion, there is the block identity portion, the nonce value, and the data. So as you saw, right, it was initially green when there was no data. Can you show that, please, without any data, Anurag? Yeah, so you see the hash, right? There are 4 leading zeros, and that is the target we have set for the hash. When it has 4 zeros in front of it, we consider the block to be mined and consider it to be valid. So when you put some data inside there, yeah, so you can see that the hash changed and there are no more zeros in front of it. So it no more is valid or it is not mined. So how do we mine it? We actually change the nonce, or we tune the nonce. You can see the nonce there, right? You can change the value until you get a hash that makes the block valid and that has zeros, which is mentioned in the target. So you saw that he mined the block and it now has 4 zeros in front of it. So the block is mined. So Anurag will now explain how this works in a blockchain.
Hi again. So now that we have saw what is a block and how a hash works, it's time for the big picture. So this is a blockchain. There, as Sabtashi mentioned, 3 blocks linked together using encryption hashes. All right. So suppose this block can represent anything from healthcare to medical to banking system or even schools. Suppose this data field, it can contain anything from transaction history to bank details or even your vitals, your report card, student marks. For demo purpose, let's say I write something like hello world, right? And in the next data I write good to see you, and the next data I write hope you're enjoying it. All right, so now you can see all the 3 blocks are actually not mined. It is showing in red. Let me click the mine button. It is taking time. All right, so what happened here is basically it uses my computer CPU and GPU power to create or to generate this hash and to find this nonce value. Let me mine the other blocks. Okay, done. All right, so everything is green, the blockchain is valid. Now suppose if some hacker or some bad guy gets the hold of my laptop and he tampers with the data. All right, now you saw that without me doing anything, the color changes to red, and subsequently the blocks followed by also changes to red. That means the whole block is compromised and it is not valid anymore. So as a person, when I'll see the block, I'll know that okay, the block is showing in red, so it cannot be trusted anymore. Now you may say that then how to secure if anybody can change the thing. So here comes the concept of decentralization. But the concept is beyond the scope of today's presentation. So we will stick here only. Let me explain you briefly. What happens is basically this is not the only blockchain. You will have more than one block, and the block will ensure that if one blocks get compromised or one blockchain gets compromised, it will make sure that it sends back the data and copy all the previous data in this blockchain, hence maintaining the purity and integrity of the blocks. So this is all about the project demo. Thanks for being such a lovely audience.
Well, that was an amazing session for today, and you can see Shomyajit has been in ML and crypto, and he also has he's also facilitator for Google Crowdsource that will start in February, and you'll also get Google AI certificates if you participate in it. So we hope that all of you do participate. And so with that, we come to the end of this session. But now the floor is all yours, and you can ask us questions. If you have projects to showcase, we are here to watch them. So if you have questions, just write them down in the chat box and we'll take it up. And I think we have a question. What is a nonce?
Yeah, Rupanta, so I would like to answer that. You saw there are two parts in the blockchain, right? The data part, which consisted of the block ID, the actual data, as well as the nonce. So when you change the nonce, right, the whole data gets changed, and with respect to that, the hash of the data gets changed. So we have to bring the hash under the target by changing the values of the nonce. We bring that hash under the target, right? We have to tune it so that hash is valid. You get it, right? It is the only part of the data which you can change and play with the hash, right? Actually.
Okay, so the next question we have is how to choose between web development and app development. Is there
Okay,
any?
I'm answering that.
All
So
right.
basically, Beverly, so the point is you don't have to choose between one of them. Okay. So if you just start with one, okay, and then gradually you can move on to other field. So it's not like that you can only work on a single field. You can work on various technologies, as many as you want. So nuance is that is not going to be a barrier. So you just start with one, the one which you think sounds more interesting. So start with one thing and then move on to several technologies. So that will be it. Any other question? If there, please.
Dada, may I know what is hash?
Rupantar, I have a small suggestion that you call up Saptarishi or Shomojit or any of these of your seniors, and then you can have assistance on cryptography, and then they could have give you more assistance on these kind of things. I think that would be the best.
Okay.
Saptarishi and others, please give Rupan, please give your WhatsApp numbers or LinkedIn accounts in the chat so that Rupantar and others could contact you whenever they want.
Yeah, there's also a Discord server. You can also contact us there.
Right. So there's a Discord server as well.
We have the cryptography chat out there, a section made for cryptography. Post your questions there and we'll give you the answers. Anyone else who has some questions? Or if you want to showcase your projects, if you have some nice projects, we're all here. Okay, it seems that's it. So we'll be ending the session right here, and you can start leaving.